Welcome to that day that we've been waiting for a little while now, and that is a fix, an update, a hot patch, a whatever you want to call it, an update to Europa Universalis 5, which fixes what is, in my opinion, the biggest kind of problem area of the game right now, especially if you want to play inside Europe, which I generally do. But we got that update literally like a few minutes ago, and we're going to go through what changes in this update. And I think the most important one here fixes issues with Imperial, demand unlawful territory action, and the HRE Emperor getting tons of random locations across the HRE. That was kind of killing enthusiasm to play the game, seeing, let's be honest, it was Bohemia, just with a ton of tiny exclaves all over the HRE. And that was also a problem because those countries that they ended up annexing would generally have been the ones to spawn printing press, so you may have also noticed that printing press is a lot more difficult to spawn if you don't generally do it yourself. Hopefully that has changed now. However, I am of the opinion that this wasn't the primary problem with what was going on here. The primary problem, in my opinion, was that as soon as you annexed a location, annexed a country, fully annexed them, their core would disappear. So I've just opened up a brand new game, and I've quickly just declared war on Camerino as the Papal States, just because I want to test what happens to their cores when I peace out. And, well, hopefully what we're going to have is something a little bit more... Yeah, hopefully we're going to have the core still there. I will say, before I peace them out, I did notice that I raised troops in Spoleto. They raised, obviously, their own troops in Camerino. Their troops were here before I arrived. Right? I raised troops here, immediately marched them into Camerino. Their troops had already been raised and were here. So I think another part of this hotfix has been the AI will raise troops immediately on declaration, is what I'm thinking might be the case. So, right now, core will still be there, Camerino. Previous patch, this would disappear on the month tick. I truly, truly hope that that's not what we're going to see. The core is still there. They fixed it. They fixed it. They fixed it. They fixed it. Perfect. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. We are being chillin'. So, let's see what else we got here. Tune down the AI demands for a new mutual defense law in defensive leagues and other IOs. Basically, if you're in a defensive league, the AI would then be like, oh, yeah, know what? We should have a new law. And then you do the new law, and then the next month, oh, we should do a new law. Maybe not quite that fast, but fast enough. So that is fantastic that that's changed. Several improvements for a bunch of situations. Fixes for the Middle Kingdom and Chinese treasure fleets. Rebalance the starting food balance in the Andean region. Alerts for lack of commanders. Okay, fair enough. Devastated locations, available policies. A green one for Pop's missing goods and other alert tooltip improvements. Pop's missing goods is one that was very annoying when it came to Pop's demanding rice, essentially. If I can... Where can I find that one? It's in here somewhere that basically my Pops were always demanding rice. And that doesn't seem to be the case anymore, which is kind of nice. Apart from the guys in the Barcelona market. However, the guys in the Barcelona market probably should want rice because rice is in the Barcelona market, so that makes sense. So that one, we can give that one a pass. Low righteousness, Confucianism mechanic should no longer be an unescapable death trap. Control will not drop again. What I think might be the case here is when a country went bankrupt, like maybe you would seen it in France or England. Essentially, their capital would stay at 100 control, but then every other location in their entire country would go to 0 control, and it would completely cripple them, which is nice. Cost to abdicate now reduced by age, fair enough. Economy, things impacting food consumption for peasants also impact laborers. Pops demand 10% more goods if they're produced on the local market. That's interesting. You can now decide if you want to pay for food or not. That is something I wanted to check out. So it'll be in the economy tab. And we have a food slider. I don't want to pay for food. I want to pay for food. Fantastic. That's awesome to see. Awesome to see. So basically, stop you from going absolutely bankrupt. If you know, you conquer a large area and it's been sieged for a while, there's no food in the locations, you conquer it, and then you basically went bankrupt because you were trying to refill all of the granaries. Let me do that a little bit slower would be kind of nice. All right, what else do we have? Going bankrupt now reduces the inflation by 25% of the current value, just like in EU4. Fair enough. Repeated bankruptcies will not tank control. Again, this is something that you saw with the AI a lot. Trade maintenance is now 10 times as big as before. Okay, that's going to make economy a bit more difficult. Fixed a bug where new countries don't get a proper economy. That's fantastic. You also saw this very much when you were playing as, say, Delhi, and then you would swap to one of the new countries that it spat out during its disaster. You may end up in a bug where you don't have an economy, and you would have to like restart the game. Hopefully, try fix that. Feitoria buildings, there was a problem with those. They can be built again. Good. Bug where states would never invest money into loan capacity for your country if the expenses were above a threshold. Yeah, this is the bankruptcy bug where you take one loan, you go bankrupt. This is great that this is fixed, of course. It was hugely game-breaking for a lot of countries. Pops will not demand food goods if they're not locally produced. The rice problem. Fantastic change. Wrong countries getting trust from ceding unoccupied areas in peace treaties. Okay, yeah, getting trust from that is a bit weird, so good that that one's changed. Barred subjects from asking to lift excommunication to avoid spam. If you ever excommunicated the ruler of Bohemia, you will have noticed that they have a lot of feudatories, so feudatories would always ask as well. Grant independence. Peace treaty now grants independence to all subjects who've joined the independence war against their overlord. That's crazy that that wasn't already the case, but okay. Character marriages will now only update marriage unions instead of all unions, which could lead to weird union behaviors. As soon as I saw this, I was like, ooh, is there going to be a change to the marriage spam that you have to engage in if you want a decent cabinet? But apparently no. IOs would now probably check the can bestow trigger when they automatically bestow special status, whatever. Power projection now impacts great power score. Fantastic. It was very strange that it wasn't. Basically, these kind of only impacted... Apparently, it impacted how fast you annex a vassal, but I never saw that being the case. But yeah, that's good. That's in there now. Military order vassals can declare war on heretic religions they have negative or enemy view of. Okay. Dynastic power in international organizations and HRE is probably calculated after loading a save file instead of having to wait for a monthly tick. Fine. Total population of international organizations like the HRE is now properly calculated after loading a save instead of having to wait as well. Subjects now count for the border requirement of selling and buying cities. Added more reasons to accept threat and war diplomatic action. I don't think I've ever seen this work. Same, I've never seen you be able to buy a location either, so maybe that's something that could also be changed. Positive reasons to accept alliances when the actor has high antagonism. Yeah, basically this was calculating it the wrong way around. If you had a coalition against you, people were more likely to ally you than the opposite, like, which was kind of a little weird. Historical tags will not be purged immediately anymore. That was such an annoying bug. I'm glad that's changed. Subjects can offer military sponsorships. Livonian Order can receive them. Rounded up slightly. The diplomatic ability increase during education given by the ambitious child trait. Okay, you got an extra 0.03. Fantastic, good for them. But I suppose it puts it in line with the others, so that's fine. The modifier blocked from creating subjects now properly blocks you from creating subjects. Makes sense. Foreign personal union peace treaty with claim throne CB is now always visible. Before this, the peace treaty was only visible when you occupied the enemy capital, which led many to believe that the peace treaty did not exist. I feel like this wasn't the problem. People definitely saw this not being a thing even after fully occupying their enemies. But maybe that's a separate bug. It's also no longer blocked by religious groups, particularly relevant for Lithuania's CB on Volhynia. Colonial nations are now blocked from making their own subjects. Emperor can no longer force a white peace in a civil war. This was also a game-breaking bug in the HRE. So glad that's fixed too. In a new game, countries already in a war will have their navy levies already raised. Characters have less impact on the correct section chance when reinforcing a battle. Only the first unit in a battle ends up on the correct flank. Okay, I don't know what that really is referring to be honest. Drilling now reduces the morale of the army. No, I liked it that it wasn't. lowering the morale. Does it lower it all the way? I'm not sure. I don't have any regulars as the Pope. You now have to stay a bit longer in a battle before being able to manually retreat. It was 5 hours. I'm not sure what it is anymore. Actually, we can quickly check that by. Hey, we need to lower the levies. We will declare war on Fermo. We have levies raised still. We're doing testing here, don't worry about it. But yeah, I believe they have already got their levies raised, so I can show you that happening as well. So I raised them in... Yeah, that's so much faster than it was! That's so much faster than it was! That's crazy, that's really good. They raised them before I do. Alright, and then it was 5 hours. We get there on when? 9 o'clock the 1st of August. We arrive in 1 hour. And I think I went too far. Yeah, we could already retreat. I went too fast. I was on speed huge. Wait, can I not retreat? I can't retreat. Oh, when? Okay, is it not telling me when I have the ability to retreat? I would like to retreat now. It should tell you when you can somewhere. Here. Until 5 hours. Okay, they feel like you might still need to update the tooltip on that one though, buddies. It was 5 hours. It still says it's 5 hours, but how fast it actually is, I don't know. Is it potentially 24 hours? It is now 24 hours. Okay, update the tooltip, Paradox, please. Thank you. So, what else have we got? Ruler being a general moves towards belligerent and land. Makes sense. Admiral moves towards belligerent and naval. I like that this wasn't the case before, I believe. Or I don't remember it being the case. But moving towards belligerent is cool. Air being a general moves a small amount towards there. Same with Admiral. Added the damage reduction information on unit categories. Right, that was a thing. We have it in here somewhere. Feudal levies. 5% versus regulars. That's the thing that we're looking at. Levy combat efficiency versus regulars at 5%. So if you're fighting with regulars against levies, even if you are outnumbered 10 to 1, you're doing 20 to 1 damage ratio. So I think it is supposed to be the case that regulars are still slightly better, even in the early game. It was the case that this 1,000 versus, you know, the regular size of regulars was 100 dudes in the first phase. It was just, you were losing with regulars. Maybe that's changed now. It's something that we'll need to test. Increased damage done by 50% when regiments have engaged and there are no more opponents that can fight them. So that would actually help with like the bombard phase, with cavalry, flanking, all that kind of stuff. Transports now end up in the reserves when you balance a navy. Fantastic, thank you. Bombard phase now lasts 10 hours instead of 5 hours. Okay, so cannons are just better. Cannons have just been buffed recently. Reworked how the levy combat power works and exposed the values in more interfaces. Great. Privateers are now a fair bit harder to get rid of. I just never bothered. I couldn't figure out any... I'm going to need somebody to tell me what to do with these guys. Armies no longer have food access in neutral countries. I didn't notice that we had. Number of colonial charter events no longer increases by the number of charters you have. Yeah, no, sorry, I'm going back to this. I definitely didn't notice this being the case because I very frequently asked for food access in neutral countries so that I could siege. Just going back to here, if I am at war with the Pope, I would often ask for food access from Provence so that I could siege Avignon. And I couldn't do that otherwise. I couldn't get food access. I would starve to death in Avignon without this. So that one is definitely confusing to me. Number of colonial charter events no longer increases by the number of charters you have. I didn't know that happened, but damn, thank you. Colonial nations can no longer be in adjacent subcontinents. No more colonial nations in North Africa. Oh, okay. That's, I don't know if I like that. I feel like it makes sense for like Spain or like an Italy that goes into Tunis to make a colonial nation there. I feel like that made sense. Okay, that's interesting. International organizations now use a trait of policies in script called reasons to join to evaluate the impact of said policy on joining an IO. No longer considers the values that were used to determine when the AI wanted to vote for a policy in the first place. Alright. Exploration now spreads to the adjacent subcontinents after X years. Fantastic. Exploration is ass in this game. It is one part of the game that I really heavily dislike. So much busy work. This will help a lot. How quickly exploration spreads now depends on which age. Goes faster with each age. Thankfully. Balance the difficulty levels. Don't really care about that. Play on normal all the time. Stockholm's Skärgård, the sea zone next to Stockholm, is made from the inland sea into Narrows. Corrected the duplicity of Kamyz's province by renaming one of them to Donetsk. Bunch of setup things. What have we got in here? Bunch of policies added to the Ottomans. Place the unique location modifier. I love that they're using this. Kremnica gold mine in the location of Kremnica. This used to be in... I can show it here. There is a location over here called Kremnica, or very close to there. Kremina. This used to have a gold mine modifier, even though it's fiber crops, because of the gold mine that is here. And now this has the gold. This modifier used to be over in Ukraine, which is very funny. And I know that I just showed you the modifier without actually being able to show you the modifier. It is this modifier. You get plus 25% gold output on a gold mine, which is really powerful. Really, really good. And I'm glad that's moved back to where it is supposed to be. What else we got? Denmark no longer in danger of a disaster at the game start. Regnal numbers for the Württembergs. Schwarzburg, Blankenburg now rules over Schwarzburg and Blankenburg. These just feel like fake German names. Adjusted base development of Xinjiang region. Wroclaw is again the capital of the Duchy of Wroclaw. Corrected the city center of Prague, I guess where it is on the map. Add a market to Hantukula. New Cahokian Golden Age modifier and reward now also gives plus 6 monthly gold income. I feel like Leif may be involved in making that change, potentially. Remove many starting towns and cities from the Andes. Gilerids and Hugelids now start at war. New name Rappold to the High German and Middle German dialects. Ruler to the Free City of Nuremberg. Some starting alliances for the Japanese Southern Court. Corrected the spelling of Moors to Moors. Alright. Made the Flanders court language French. Swakin and its ruler is Shia. Removed the ruler of Makuria from ruling Hala. More tin RGOs to the American subcontinent. Yes, this is 100% because of Leif and his Cahokian campaign. 100%. Countries with the Mongol exploration template can now see the northern coast of Vietnam. Moved the only nobility as leaders, noble privilege, as an already granted privilege at the start for the Catholic military orders, so they can assign clergymen as generals. Makes sense. Fixed description of the worship patron gods tooltip for some of the Mesoamericans. Majapahit and Ottomans now have amplified healthy character bonuses to help them live up to their historical death dates. Okay. Earldoms of Moray, Galloway, and Orkney start with the Explore Northern Europe explored locations instead of Western Europe. Isles gets galley lords and state piracy policies. Marie de Chatillon is no longer Muslim. Liang country in Yunnan. Knights start with privateer contracts. Road starts with a dock. Ruling history is removing repeated kings. Fair enough. Military orders estate privilege to Portugal and Aragon. Balliol starts with the unique Heir of Empty Coat modifier. Additional life expectancy and parliamentary support. Okay, so Balliol dying instantly was a very big problem I've noticed. Now, not so much. Modified royal goods and advances of Savoy for better diplomatic starting position. A bunch of situation fixes. Fair enough. I'm not going to read through all of these, but there are a bunch there. And then a bunch of disaster fixes as well. Some IO fixes. Some events. I think the main things I have already gone through, so we're pretty happy with that. And these are just individual events that are being fixed. I don't think there is any... Well, I mean, there's probably a bunch of really interesting things in here. Rebalance Japanese clans' masonry demands, very much necessary, but I don't think the Japanese clans are playable still. They weren't when I played a little while ago, and after reporting, and they said they were going to look into it. I don't think they've probably had time to fix the problems. But if they have, then fantastic. Sync port for England has changed now. That's nice. Okay. I'm pretty happy with this. The main... There's a lot of changes, actually. Holy. Achievements change. The one that I noticed people having issues with was the one where you start as Sweden, you become Scandinavia, and then you can't do the Sweden... I can't remember what the achievement is called. The one where you're helping the 30 Years' War. Is that Brothers in Arms? It might be Brothers in Arms. I don't recall correctly. There's a typo in the tutorial. Crazy. Mission... Well, there's plenty, because they all spell it in American. Some missions, no one cares. Some icons got changed. Some illustrations got changed. Some flags got changed. Change MP buttons for observer mode when hosting, for clarity. Okay. Some AI changes as well. AI will no longer send marriage offers repeatedly if they were rejected before. Okay. Ottomans no longer release areas as subjects under any condition while trying to reach the location count with the rise of the Ottomans. Interesting. May help the Ottomans doing things. AI subjects will no longer release land with 0 proximity as subjects, causing subject of subject change. Okay, so the subjects won't release subjects. That's good. That's good. Fix AI breaking lines immediately after accepting due to Diplo capacity cost. Thankfully. It was very annoying to ally the Pope and then they immediately break it, like, multiple times. Very, very annoying indeed. Increase the AI's desire to unlock the dock building. Okay. AI factors in country morale and discipline modifier when doing high-level estimates about a country's military power. Less willing to attack countries far away from their capital. Bit less scared of declaring war than when they have a lot of antagonism. Good. Prioritize sieging areas more if they have a border. Reduce the willingness to attack countries far away. Wouldn't correctly use mixed fleets of levy and regular transports due to miscalculating the need for repairs. Okay, hopefully these things allow the AI to, you know, fight more. This seems good. Map modes. Recalculate man names when changing a map mode. Livonian order now correctly appears grey instead of pink when in the blend one. Oh, I didn't even notice that. Dynamic map labels like control map mode now probably update when changing the selected country. Switching map modes. Hotkey in lobby view. Unpin map modes on lobby... whatever. The problems that I have with the map mode is not fixed here. Where's my pin button? Oh, actually, not bad. This top bar is now no longer disappearing. I again realize that I'm not showing what I'm doing. This is kind of huge, right? This map thing really annoyed me when I click this pin and then this row of buttons would then disappear. But now the pin actually keeps everything in place. It's still not good enough, and I'd still prefer, you know, this whole situation to be over in the bottom right of my screen, underneath my face. But it's certainly an improvement by a lot, actually. By an actual hell of a lot. Some panels, I'm probably going to find that in there somewhere. Updating all of these icons in the accepted cultures area. They all seem the same to me. Yeah, these all seem the same. I'm not sure about that one. Okay. I think the main thing is a lot of these have been... A lot of the really big changes were already at the top. With good reason. but I am going to read through more of these. If there is anything more that I notice when doing a more deep dive into, like, I mean, this is a long thing, then I will write it in the comments. If you have read through this entire patch notes and you have noticed anything, then feel free to write it in the comments, and that will help as well. Crusader Knights model upgraded from medium to heavy. Yo, we got new unit models. Hang on, we gotta check this one out first. Let me just go into observe mode. Start observing the game. Gotta go and look at the Teutons. Where's your unit models? That's not good enough. Where have you got other? Oh, there we go. Was that not like that before? They look pretty cool, though. I'm not gonna lie, they look pretty cool. They look pretty cool. But yeah, if you see anything else in here that is super interesting and necessary, modders, you know, you've got some stuff there too. Translations, always nice to see. Multiplayer. Crasher desktop changes. Yeah, none of that is fixed 17,000 desync errors, but you know, we live in hope. But yeah, a lot of things. Let me know if there's anything else you spot in the comment section below. I'm going to go play a little bit and see what I can find out as well. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Toodaloo.